Howdy, Possum Patty here, and today I am going to try my best to make at least 6 grungy hashtag crafty clusters. I have a few ideas, and number one, I want to start with a brown paper bag. So this is my tote bag from the Big E fair. This one's from Maine. Got a picture of Maine on it. But I'm going to rip off a piece of this, at least big enough to make 6 clusters. And I want these clusters to be a little bit smaller because I may use them like in my fall journal. Okay, the first step is to rip it up. Cat's trying to get on my lap here. Oh, there she comes. And I don't need this part here. And then I'm going to crinkle it up. Make some nice edges on it. And I'm going to take my Distress Oxide, whoops, and just go over this, get some of this oxide ink on these crevices. Okay, I inked it up, and now I'm just going to give it a spritz because the oxide ink does like to react with water. And you can see it turns kind of like a rusty color on there. So I'm just going to dry this up. Okay, the other day I was doodling while I was talking on the telephone, and I made these wiggly doodles. And I thought that would be fun as a background on some paper. So I'm going to try it on this. I'm just going to take an ultra fine Sharpie. And what you do is you hold it very loosely and just kind of go around in a circle like this. You want it to be crooked. You want to be out of control. If you're a perfectionist, you will not enjoy this. If you just want to de-stress, this is fun to do. Just hold the pen very loosely. Of course, the wrinkles in the paper help get a little crooked there. When I was doodling, I was on a kitchen table, which is tiles. And the tiles help you go a little crooked too. Okay, I think before I do the next step, I am going to rip this into a few pieces. How big do I want these clusters to be? This is going to be the bottom layer. So this is going to be the biggest piece. That's kind of big, but okay, I'll do this and be right back. Okay, now I'm just going to use some stamps to add some texture. This is sort of like a grungy dot. And let's see, I got some numbers. I don't even know what this is. I don't know. Probably came from Michael's or something on sale. I think I need some more black ink. And let's see what else I have here. I got this at a flea market. These are old Stamping Up from 2004. This one's got a key. Doesn't matter, this is going to get covered up anyway. Gonna get covered up. Okay, that's enough stamping. Now I got this stencil from the Dollar Tree a while ago, and I like all these different little patterns, and I figured these would be perfect to put a little bit on each one, and they could be like different. So I'm going to go get some paint ready to do that. I just put some of this white acrylic, this is Heavy Body from Liquitex, onto this lid, plastic lid here. Use one of these little makeup sponges I got at the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to, I tested it out a little bit right there. Add a little bit of white. For some reason I love the combination of the craft paper with black and white. And I'm just going to pounce, pounce, pounce a little bit of design on each one of these. Random, 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 random. And my wash machine is still gurgling. Okay, let me just finish these up. And before I wash off this lid, I'm going to take some of this paint and splatter it. It's Heavy Body. Gotta add some water. There's my clock. White-breasted nuthatch. Here we go. Okay, I wound up with 9 of these. What did I say? I was going to do like 6 or 7. And I still have a little bit of this paper left over that I could use in my trashy because it's a paper bag. Here's what it looks like close up. Now I'm going to let these dry and then go on to the next step. Okay, now I'm going to add a second layer. I'm not going to glue it together yet till I get it all worked out, but I think, yes, I'm going with Pink Grunge. I'm going to put a little piece of pink, but I'm going to grunge it up because I do not grunge without pink. Some different shapes, and I will grunge it. Not a lot of pink, a little bit of pink. This is a piece of cardstock that I painted with pink watercolor that I was going to use in one of my journals, but I never got to it. Okay, so I got 9 pieces of pink, and I need to grunge them up. So should I use more ink? Should I use paint? I might grunge them up with some more watercolor since it's already watercolor. So I gotta wet my watercolor here a little bit and let that soak in. I just using a mixture of different browns, and I do want the pink to sort of show through like that. Maybe a little darker even. Well, not too dark. Grungy pink. Grungy pink. Cardstock is not the best paper to do watercolors on, but that doesn't mean you can't do it. And now, after I splattered some more brown on there, I'm going to coat each one with this pink glitter glue from the Dollar Tree. It's not very pink, but nothing is more fun than Pink Glitter Grunge. Then I'll have to let these dry. And that'll take a while. Okay, I hauled some pink burlap at the Dollar Tree the other day, and I want to add some more texture. I'm not going to use the little wire parts, but I will grunge this up also. Fray it a little bit. And what I have is coffee ink. I made this a while ago. I should make some more. And I painted in one of my journals a picture of a camel, and all the brown that you see on this camel is painted with my coffee ink. See, it's got a little bit of a shine to it. Now how you make this is you just save, the dregs or whatever is left all over in a coffee pot for a few days. And then you put them on the stove, all the leftovers, put them in a pot, and boil, 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 and stir it and boil it and stir it and boil it. Careful not to burn. But after a while, it just turns into sludge. Then you pour the sludge into something and let it cool. And you've got coffee ink. Now I've dyed some laces with it just by painting it on, basically. And what else did I do? And painted a picture. I think that's all I've done with it so far. So I'm going to splash some on 9 pieces of burlap. Fray it up a little bit. Got 3. All right, let me cut these. Sorry, my wash machine is just going to town again. Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. All right, put a little water on there and let that set for a minute. And now I'm just going to grunge these up a little bit. It does smell like coffee. Been in here for a couple of years. I wonder if it'll ever go bad. I would imagine at some point it would. Oh, there, my dryer's beeping. My wash machine's gurgling. I'm going to just get some coffee on these, and then I will go take care of my machines. I'm sort of running in and out of the room today. I have 3 layers so far, and I am thinking about adding just a little bit of patterned paper from some scraps that I have between the pink and the pink burlap, and then making the focal point a mushroom. Now I cut out some glitter mushrooms and some dark brown mushrooms, and I don't know, I could grunge the mushrooms up a little bit. Sure I can. Let's put some brown on there and give it a contrasting cap, something like that. And they do have little veil parts here. Here we go. Oh, I get a contrasting one. Here we go. Like that. And maybe just call that done. Or add one more thing. All right, so let me rip up some paper, and I'll be back before you know it. 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Okay, now the question is, do I need to add some old pink trim? I think this is from a slip with a little bit of coffee on it from my coffee ink. Do I need this? Maybe I do. All right, I'm going to dye some of this, and then I'm going to glue these all together, and then maybe we'll be done. Let's see. So I think I'm going to glue these down with the paper, the burlap, and then some more paper. And then the lace. And then the paper again. It's like making lasagna. Noodle sauce. Sausages, cheese. And then the mushroom. This one has a dark cap. And a little dark part over there. Okay, so I'm going to glue the rest of these and come back and show you what they look like. Well, I didn't think I was going to make that much of a mess today, but I did. I took out the watercolor paints. I took out acrylic paint. I took out my coffee ink. I took out a bunch of trims. I took out a pile of scrap paper. I took out some half rounds. And I splattered and I splashed. Oh, I took out stencil. So I stamped, stenciled, stickered, material, burlap, trim, scraps of paper, glitter. Can't forget glitter. So I did make a mess today. So let me just show you my finished product, my clusters. And they're all kind of the same, a little different, variations on a theme. I did add these little mermaid bubbles. And I used the clear gel tacky glue, which does dry clear, but it takes longer to dry than the regular tacky. Oh, this is a nice one. Tacky glue does. And these are dollar store stencils, dollar store little bubbles. Lace from a slip, dollar store burlap, scraps of paper, dollar store glitter, Tim Holtz mushroom dyes, that was my door, sorry about that, Mr. Possum just walked by. So I was letting them dry on these grungy strips of paper, and I thought, oh, that goes perfect. They're going to take a little while to dry before I put them away. So I just want to thank you for coming along today. And I want to wish everybody happy making. Bye-bye now.